question was regarding As-San'ani Sharh, one of the explanations that we use and we depend upon in our classes of Subul al-Salam, which is one of the best, if not the best Sharh of Subul al-Salam, and one of the most classical books of comparative fiqh of the later generations, no doubt about that. And As-San'ani and Ash-Shawkani, these ulama, we don't have time to get into their lives, where they live, things like this. They were great ulama of ijtihad, and they were known for their efforts that they took in fighting blind following, fighting fanaticism, fighting bigotry, and fighting dullness. People being dull, sloppy. There were people that came with the concept of sharp. Sharif, what? Sharp knives. Accurate. This is incorrect, this is wrong, this is da'if, this is bid'ah. And comparing the fiqh and deciding on what's the strongest view based off of the data and not based off of the theory. This is incorrect. The hadith says this, the lugha says that, for that, not just because, Abu Hanifa said it and that's it. Shafi'i said it and that's it. Bigots, fanatics that only cling and clutch to their view and their madhhab because of their imams. No. That's not what they were with. Throw all of that garbage out the window. And let's go back to the original sources as students of knowledge and debate and decipher and find out what is the strongest view. And that this alim, San'ani, or this one, his view is ijtihad. There is no madhab that he has. He may take a view that agrees with the Hanafi madhab, and another issue, a view with the Hanbalis. He's comparing it, and he takes what seems to be a logic. And he doesn't worship Allah with personalities, as so many people do. And so many ignorant fools say, you have to have a madhab. You have to study a madhab. You're not going to understand if you don't take a madhab. His fiqh is improper. You can't just take a party and mix this about to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not send down a madhab. He sent down kitab and sunnah. Understanding kitab and sunnah, the different ways that we see it, that's a different story. But he did not send down a madhab from the sama that you must follow and you have to follow. Everybody understand this? So therefore, a general layman person asks those whom he trusts, he knows what's the ruling on this, what's the ruling. He tells them what you were taught in the masjid that was correct and sound from a good source. You follow that until you're exposed to something else, and then you have to ask. I'm from India, but when I got to America, I saw brothers praying like this. So then he asks. If he asks and he learns and he realizes that what he was taught in India wasn't that strong, he has to do what now? Leave it. Without a doubt. And you can't just say, well, I'm from India, I'm hiding. No. I came from West Africa. You're in Brooklyn now. You're in Brooklyn. You sat in a class, the imam explained something that you never knew of, you never heard of. It's impermissible for you to say, I'm from Mali, I'm from Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, or whatever country you come from, Liberia or whatever, and say, well, no. Now some knowledge has come to you. Some ilm has come to you. And then you know that it makes sense and it sounds right. And it's penetrated your heart. You can't just say, I'm Maliki. But if you didn't know about that ilm, and that's how you were taught in the madrasa, the traditional schools, you wouldn't be punished for that, even if it was wrong or incorrect, because it was a trusted source that gave you that ilm. And your job as a layman Muslim is not to go and look and study and decipher everything, because you're a layman. Everybody understand this? So that is the defining difference that these fools don't get. These people who worship personalities, and those out there foolish. There's no doubt about that. It's not a harsh word. That's the truth. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, سيقول السفهاء من الناس ما ولاهم عن قبلتهم التي كانوا عليها قل لله المشرق والمغرب يهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم وما جعلنا القبلة التي كنت عليها إلا لنعلم إيش من يتبع الرسول ممن على عقبيه. Allah says, سيقول السفهاء, the fools will say. Allah calls them sufaha, even though they was talking about the Yahud, the Jews, but the principle is the same. Allah says they will say, ما ولاهم عن قبلتهم التي كانوا عليها. Why did Muhammad and his followers turn away from Jerusalem to another qibla? Why do they have a different qibla? قل, tell those foolish people, لله المشرق والمغرب. To Allah belongs the east and the west. I tell you to turn, you turn to any direction, Allah owns it, not you Jewish people in Arabia or the munafiqeen. لله المشرق والمغرب. Allah belongs to the east and the west. This is the Qibla, Jerusalem, And now we've changed the Qibla to Mecca. What's the problem? Allah guides whom He wills to a straight path. And this is one of the reasons why the Jews didn't accept, why they didn't believe, because they were jealous and they were envious. We do not want to follow the Arabs. Who are the two tribes? Offspring of who? Not in Medina. The children of who? Ismail and Ishaq. Ishaq was? Ismail was?
Quraysh.
Everybody understand this? Muhammad used to pray towards Jerusalem? Good. Alhamdulillah. Now it's changed to Ismail's Qibla that he built with his father. The Arabs. Oh, no. We don't want to follow that. What does Allah say a few verses later? وَمَا جَعَلْنَا الْقِبْلَةَ الَّتِي كُنْتَ عَلَيْهَا. And the only reason why we changed the Qibla, Allah says, the only reason why we changed the Qibla is to know and to see and for it to be manifested. Allah already knows those who will follow the Rasul and those who will turn on their heels and walk. So those who do not follow the Rasul are called what? Fools. Sufaha. Everybody understand this? Once it's clear to you, if it's unclear, that's a different story. As we clearly said, but it's clear. You've understood, you've read, you studied, and then you notice the haqq, and you still Shafi'i, I'm Hanafi, I'm Maliki, I'm this and I'm that. Then not you're a fool. And the sheer fact of you calling people and encouraging people to cling to a group other than the group of the Sunnah and of Hadith, calling to a man, calling to a personality, calling this man, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Shafi'i, that's it. Malik, Abu Hanifa, great ulama, but you're calling not to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's also foolishness as well. And the same applies, if not worse, to those who call, quote unquote, to the ulama. You're not calling to the ulama, that's first and foremost. You're calling to alim or alimain or thalatha. You're not calling to the ulama, the scholars. You're calling to a scholar or to a tree. So let's cut the crap. You're not calling the people to the ulama. That's rubbish. You're calling the people to a handful of scholars that you've picked out and selected. And even if you were calling to the ulama, where does Allah ever say, وَإِذَا دُعُوا إِلَى الْعُلَمَاءِ? And when they're called to the ulama, وَإِذَا دُعُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ لِيَحْكُمَ بَيْنَهُم. When they're called to Allah and His Rasul to make the ruling among them. Allah does not say when they're called to the ulama. It's not what Allah says. Who knows the rulings of Allah and His Messenger? Of course the ulama. No doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask the ulama if you don't know. Don't ask the ulama about their views and opinions. Ask them about the dalil. بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَالزُّبُرِ. Ask them about the scriptures. Don't ask them about their views and their opinions. So you call people to Allah and to His Rasul. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ. I call to Allah. أُدْعُو إِلَى سَبِيلِ الْعُلَمَاءِ بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي أحسن. هذه آية في القرآن. أدعو إلى سبيل إيش؟ ربك. Allah says call to the path of your Lord. Allah does not say call to the ulama. And it doesn't mean that we don't benefit from it. No, it's not what we're saying. Huh, Saleh? We're not talking about that. We're not saying we don't benefit from the ulama. We don't know. No. That's not what we're saying. But just that term in itself. هذا غير مرضي. يقال هذا ندعو الناس إلى العلماء. هذا لا يدعو الناس إلى العلماء. يدعو الناس. What is this? Calling people to Allah, to the deen of Allah, to the sunnah. And a part of that, you're benefiting from the ulama. But that statement itself, everybody understand this? Let alone the fanaticism and the bigotry that comes. If you don't go to my alim, my sheikh, then you don't follow the ulama. You don't love the ulama. You're not Salafi. You don't have the proper knowledge. You're deviant. You're this, you're that. Don't learn. Don't take from him because he doesn't go back to. That's hizbiyah. That's ta'assub. That's fanaticism. That's bigotry. You're claiming to one person, clinging to one person, calling to one person. That is the definition of partisanship. That's fanaticism. If my sheikh doesn't say it, then it's total garbage. What's the difference between those who say that if Abu Hanifa doesn't say it, then it's what? Batil. Rather, it's worse. Because Abu Hanifa rahimahullah is dead centuries ago. He's gone. What he said is what he said. He can't change and twist. But this alim who's alive, one day he can say this and the next day he can say totally different. And it has happened. It has happened. One scholar comes to America, he's the imam. He differs with another scholar. He doesn't praise this one. He doesn't spit on this one and kick this one to fulfill the low, dirty desires of this one. They get into a beef. Now you have to say he's a mubtadi'. Well, Sheikh, I don't agree with you. This is a mubtadi'. We know Salih, be a person of sunnah, of ilm. I don't agree. No, he's a mubtadi'. Trust me. Yeah, Sheikh, kull al-ihtiram. We respect you, but I do not agree with you. Anta mubtadi'. You're an innovator now. And anyone who defends you is an innovator. And what's happened in America? How many scholars came to America in this masjid? Najm. And what are they now? Dogs in the street. Deviant, mubtadi', don't take nothing from him. Well, this shayateen is a dajjal. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, those scholars that came to America, they gave classes that benefited from the people. Now they're shayateen. La khayra fihim. They have no good in them. That can't be Islam. That can't be the Sunnah. And one of the reasons behind this, it was messed up from the beginning. The whole concept of calling the people to the ulama. And that worship. And that putting people before kitab and before sunnah. So therefore you don't call to the ulama, that's first and foremost. And even if you did, it's problematic. And one day a person's an alim, and the next day he's nothing. Abu Hanifa is passed away. Abu Hanifa cannot change his view and his opinion. Abu Hanifa cannot apostate. He's dead. This scholar who's alive can turn. He can go back to kufr. Waliyadhu billah. We don't wish that for any Muslim. We're not saying that. But it's a reality. And this is why the Salaf, many of them would say, as Ibn Mas'ud and Ibn Umar, they would say, those of you who want to follow someone, then follow someone who's what? Dead. Why? فَإِنَّ الْحَيَّ لَا تُؤْمَنُ عَلَيْهِ الْفِتْنَةُ أَوْ كَمَا قَالُوا. Because the living person is not safe from fitna. He's my scholar, he's my teacher, he's this and he's that. The next thing you know, waliyadhu billah, he flips and he changes. What do you want to do? Follow him? You're connected to him? Everybody understand this? So if you want to get technical, the Hanafis, with the concept of taqleed and of scholars and stuff, are closer to the Salaf than you are. They're following someone who is dead. His statements are recorded, expelled. It's a system. It's done. You're following one scholar alive today who's not even of the caliber of that imam as well. So we have to cut the crap. We have to do the what, Yusuf? We have to get rid of the garbage. We have to be real. We can't have fake piety. He's Ahl Bid'ah because he says he's Hanafi. You're not Ahl Bid'ah, but you say Sheikh Fulan is my scholar. And anyone who says anything about Sheikh Fulan is a deviant. And anyone who doesn't know scholar Fulan is a deviant. And anyone who doesn't visit Sheikh Fulan in Mecca is a deviant. It's filthy. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Allah guide us all. هذا والله أعلم. صلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد.